Hello, I'm old Mr. Kent of MrKent.com, and we are going to go for a ride on my trike, E-Trike, and we're going to see if we can get to a house that burned the other day, and the poor folks that were living there were actually building it. I don't know all the story on it. But anyway, it wasn't finished yet. And some neighbors nearby were burning rubbish, and they let it get out of control, and it caught this house on fire that's under construction. And so anyway, I wanted to go take a look at the ruins, and while I do, I'll take you along and I'll tell you some stories. All right, and one of the things I need to do is I need to tell you this story, which I've already told before, but if you're new to the channel, you probably would appreciate hearing it, so you understand why I'm such a brat. And I am a brat. Anyway, so let's get to this stop street here. Now we can get on a regular road, and I can concentrate on what I'm trying to say. When I was 4 years old, while my folks still lived out in that wooded area, in that little house, I somehow contracted nephrosis. And nephrosis ended up causing my kidneys to stop working. Now, if your kidneys stop working, your body basically swells up and you poison yourself to death. And so that's what was going on. My folks have a picture, or I've seen the picture of me just before they took me in, and I was a little butterball. And they didn't know why, and so they took me to the Children's Hospital in Seattle, and they admitted me. Now, back then, there were no such things as kidney machines, dialysis, any of that. And so I ended up being put into, I guess, what they called the terminal room, or whatever, the room for children where there was no help. And there were, I don't remember, it seemed like there were 3 or 4 beds in there with kids in it. And that's where I was. And like, for instance, there was a kid across the room from me, and we became, friends. We were in cribs, huge cribs, great big cribs, as I remember. And so we were stuck in there, but we would visit. Well, then one morning he woke up and he was gone, and when the nurse came in, I asked where he was, and they said he went home. So that was good news to me, because I was glad he went home. But what I didn't realize was, as a little kid, they weren't talking about going home to his parents. They were talking about going home to heaven. So anyway, so that day there were some sad parents. But because I was in terminal condition, and everybody knew I was going to die, then they decided that they should spoil me. And my great big huge crib had a pile of toys at the foot of it. Let me make sure I'm not going to get run over here. Had a pile of toys at the foot of it because they were spoiling me, and because they thought I was going to die. Well, as you can see, I didn't die. And I'll put some pictures up. They gave me penicillin shots in the behind 3 times a day. And so, as a little kid, I drew pictures and, on scratch paper or something, and gotta go around the bump here. And my parents saved them but it was of the doctors and the nurses. That's all I could, that's all there was to draw. And every single one of them had a hypodermic needle in their hand because they came in every day, 3 times a day, gave me a shot in the behind. So anyway, I survived, and it was partly, I think, a big part was because my grandma was praying for me. And so anyway, so I survived, and I got out. And of course, I was so spoiled and after I got out, they were so glad to have me alive that they spoiled me more. So that's how come I'm like I am. That's how come I pulled the chair out from underneath the kid at school and things like that. And just a little, I forgot to tell you the other part about the about the hospital. The nurses, I'm sure they were hoping I would die, but I didn't. Whoop, that one was a big one. But the nurses had to put up with me, and I was so bratty that one night, I remember they put me into a, straitjacket for little kids, and they tied me to the bed, to the bed, so all I could do was just lay there. And so when, as the night went by, I was able to undo myself from it. And in that room, they had, up near the ceiling, there was this ledge. And so I got out of the straitjacket and threw it up on the ledge. And I still have pictures in my mind of that. I'm sure she was overweight nurse, and they were so nice, but I didn't know back then. I was just a little brat. But she climbed up the ladder to get next to my bed. She climbed up the ladder to get the straitjacket down from the ledge. I'm dodging things here, so I have to be kind of careful. Anyway, so that's a story that probably you should know about, so that you understand why I'm such a brat, why I'm so spoiled. And I am really spoiled, but anyway. Okay, so another story, and pretty soon I'm going to get out of grade school, but this is another one that shows you how smart I am, really smart. Okay, so the bookmobile would come by our school every once in a while, and the teacher would take us out, line us up, and we'd go through very carefully and supposed to find a book to read. I can't remember if I got a book or not, but anyway, one winter we had some snow, and I think I was probably in 1st or 2nd grade. Had a lot of snow, and the bookmobile, when he came, he didn't park on the street. He came over and parked in the playground next to the a lot of dust there, next to the school. And so I'm trying to figure out the best way to go here. I think probably I'll just go this way. Anyway, so parked in the playground next to the school, and we could see me and my buddies, we could see that he was having trouble because his wheels were spinning and so forth. And so we went around to the other side where people weren't coming and going, and started packing snow around the rear wheel so that when he tried to go, he'd be stuck. And so we packed, and then that was, I don't remember if that was before school or anyway. So the bell rang, we had to go in, and we were all waiting for the next recess or whatever so that we could go out and keep packing snow around it. Well, so it got to be close to the next one, and some girl, I think her name was Judy, but I don't remember. somebody had pulled all the buttons off of her coat that day. And so they were hanging in a cloakroom, if you know what that is anyway. They were hanging in that room, and somebody secretly pulled all the buttons off her coat. Why they did that, I don't know. Anyway, so the teacher was pretty upset. The teacher said, it was getting close to recess, and the teacher said, we're not going out to recess until we find out which one of you pulled those buttons off of that coat. And it was silence in the room. Nobody said anything. And then teacher said, we're not going out until somebody confesses to having stole those buttons. Meantime, the bookmobile is getting closer to when he's going to leave. And so I decided, well, phooey, if we can't go out until somebody says they did it, I'll confess. And so, stupid me, I raised my hand and said I did it. So the teacher says, okay, everybody but Kent can go out to recess. So anyway, I learned a lesson there. I don't remember what happened next. I don't think the teacher really believed I did it anyway. But I'm going over a rough spot here, a bunch of rocks and stuff. Anyway, so that's another story. Now I got to tell you a story about how my smart aleck spoiled attitude has cost me. And this happened years ago, after my wife and I had been married I know we'd been married for a few years. And so she was in the kitchen. We just had a small house. And she was in the kitchen and she was cooking something. And whatever I was doing, it was just on purpose, just harassing her, teasing her, or whatever. And finally, she got fed up with it. She grabbed a cast iron frying pan and threw it at me. And I ducked, and it passed over me, and it hit the wall behind me and fell and broke in pieces. That's how hard she threw it. Of course, marriage has its high times and its low times. That was not a high time. And anyway, we still love each other. In the good times and in the not so good times. And but that's a true story. I should have kept all the pieces of the frying pan, but so people would believe me. But anyway, so we're coming across here. I don't want to go in any of these ditches. Okay, so we're just almost to where I'm headed. So I'll probably just skip ahead here until we get up there, because I've already gone through a couple of stories, and we don't want to get this video too long. So let's just jump up to where the house caught on fire. All right, we'll go up here and take a quick look. I won't say much because I don't know how many people are going to be there, maybe cleaning up or something. So we'll go up here and take a look at it. The sad situation. Okay, there it is. We'll go ahead and speed it up here a little bit. So anyway, as I ride back and finish this trip, I want to thank you for watching my videos. And God bless.